Hi Una, so just a quick video to talk through how we can add the response ID to the participants' end of survey message, that then at least they have a record that the response has been recorded. They actually have a value that they can then give you that you can then check in the data analysis section and confirm it is there. If no response ID is generated, it means that, or it might mean that the response wasn't recorded, and that's at least a way we can track if responses are being recorded or not. Having a look at the data analysis, the responses have been coming in quite steadily now over the last little while. If I go into your survey options, I see that the end of survey message that's currently being used isn't actually owned by you, so I'm not sure who owns this message or where it's actually being pulled from. But if we want to add the response ID into this message, we will either need to get that or copy it from the person who actually really owns it, or else just come up with our own custom end of survey message that appears at the end, and we can add it in that way. But the steps would be, if we close out of here, we would go into survey flow. We would add down the bottom where I already have the user agent, which pulls in the information about what device people are using. You would go to add a new field, and we would say, we would call this response ID, and that would be a capital R. A capital R and a capital ID at the end. And this is going to record the response ID of for this specific response for this person. And the response ID, you would then just click Save Flow once that's been done. And what the response ID will look like is, if we go to the data analysis section, every response that's recorded records a response ID. So if we were to go to Tools and go to Choose Columns, under Survey Metadata, there will always be a response ID option. And this will show you, so it will always be R underscore and then a string of characters. So this is basically going to show itself to your participant at the end. And they can at least then just copy that, send it to you and say, hey, look, and obviously you don't want to have to keep doing this over and over again, but at least they'll be able to see the response ID. In that case, they're confident that response has been recorded. If they want to double check, they can just send it on to you maybe once or twice after they take the survey and just say, hey, here's my response ID for here. And then you can go into your data analysis section, add a filter, or just indeed have a quick look through here and make sure that that response ID is present, so you can be 100% sure that these responses are being recorded. That's literally the only thing I can think of. So maybe just phrase it to this person like, don't let them know that there's going to be, say, is there a response ID there or not? Basically just say, there's now going to be a code at the end of your survey. If you wouldn't mind, can you just copy and send that to me? Just the next maybe 2-3 times you take the survey, just so I can check up the responses and make sure that they're coming through, or something to that effect. To actually show this to your participant, what we would do is we would go back to the survey area. We would go to survey options. And like I say, it's up to you whether you want to grab that message from whoever actually owns it and copy it and then add in your own thing, or else create your own brand new one. You would go into here. You would go to My Library, New Message. Then you would paste in the message. If you're copying it from that person, you just paste that in here. If not, you type out your own one. And then wherever you want to pipe in the response ID, you would go to this piped text option right here. You would go to embedded data field, and then you would just write in response ID, exactly the way it is typed in the survey flow. So again, R and capital ID, response ID. There you go. And click insert, and that will just put in this little piece of piped text which will generate the response ID that's recorded for them. So like I said, they can then copy and paste that to you, so you can just follow up on it. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I will be out of the office tomorrow, but I will make sure that if you do respond, I will have someone who will be able to reach out to you with any other questions. But if not, I will be back in the office on Wednesday and can continue helping you from there.